Hello everybody, and thank you for joining us for our annual general meeting. It's great that you can be here with us, where we're going to be sharing some of the exciting stuff that we've been doing over the last 12 months and also share some of the great stuff that we're going to be doing in the future. We've also got the formal business that we're going to be going through in a little bit, which will include things like elections and presentation of accounts and reports. And then I'm absolutely delighted to say that we've got Kate Powell joining us from Science and Industry Museum in Manchester. Kate is our Volunteer Leader of the Year, so she's going to be talking about some of the amazing work that she's been doing over in Manchester. So, to get us started, I am going to, hopefully you can all see my presentation on screen. Just give me the thumbs up, Liv, just give me a shout out to say you can see that, and we'll crack on.
I can see that.
Brilliant. Super. Okay, so as I say, in a minute I'm going to be talking about some of the amazing stuff that we've been doing over the last 12 months and what we can be looking forward to in 25-26. But just a couple of other pieces of business. So as I said, we've got some elections, so we are going to be putting Katerina Lacueva-Biscart forward for our membership secretary, and also Michelle Armstrong, who is going to be hopefully be elected to our advisory group. We've got a few other bits and pieces that we'll cover, as I've mentioned already, but I just want to give a few apologies from executive and advisory group members that couldn't make it today. So Ali Thomas, Becky Benson, Will Tregaskis, Annie Bethel, Daniel Garcia and Amanda Hampton have all given their apologies. So we'll start the proceedings with the chair's report. So, from ancient woodlands to inspiring museums, our heritage shapes our national identity, defining our past and illuminating our future. And as custodians of this legacy, the heritage sector plays a vital role in our country's identity. By fostering discourse, connection and learning across society, it offers a space for people to come together and form a shared sense of community and trust. Yet this role is being jeopardised by the continuing financial challenges that the sector faces. At HVG, we believe in the power of volunteering to address these challenges and in your ability as volunteer engagement professionals to create experiences and opportunities that really do transform organisations, lives and communities. And we are committed to helping the sector realise this potential, and that's why in April 2024 we published Transformative Volunteering. Developed in consultation with colleagues from across the sector, Transformative Volunteering sets out our strategic framework and the work we'll deliver over its lifetime. 2024-25 was the first year of the strategy, and what a year it was. Over the course of the past 12 months, we grew at our fastest rate yet, with a membership growing by 136 new members. So as of today, you are part of a global community of over 750 volunteer engagement professionals who we support through a variety of projects, events and digital content, all designed to help you unlock the transformative power of volunteering. And you are ultimately at the heart of all that we do. And our free monthly events programme is designed to serve your needs and help you create those transformative volunteer programmes that I've been talking about. During 2024-25, over 350 people attended our events programme, which was sponsored by Team Kinetic. And sessions ranged from the role of volunteers in live interpretation right through to digital volunteering. We also ran a really insightful sponsor event with Team Kinetic and took a deep dive into defining volunteering. If you didn't manage to make all those sessions, don't worry, you can catch up on them via our YouTube channel. And I'm hoping somebody's going to pop the link to that in the chat for you. Alongside all of that, we demonstrated our continued commitment to EDI by running 10 inclusion forums, which offer a safe space for you to come together and explore the challenges you face around equality, diversity and inclusion, and to share your successes with others. The cornerstone of our events programme is, of course, our annual conference, and last year Heritage Volunteering 24 explored creating transformative volunteer programmes. with a record 183 people attending from 140 different organisations. Sessions tackled everything from climate action to EDI. As part of the event, we were delighted to welcome Magdalene Bartlett, CEO of AfroCats, who discussed her organisation's dynamic approach to community engagement, whilst global volunteering expert Martin J. Cowling explored the challenging subject of toxic volunteering cultures. The event was brilliantly received, and if you're the person who said it was one of the best conferences, virtual or in person, you've ever attended, well, thank you, because it is that kind of feedback that inspires us to give up our time to make the conference a reality. So thank you. Now, as many of you may know, our conference is where we present our Volunteer Leader of the Year award, and this is our chance as a sector and a profession to recognise outstanding examples of volunteer engagement and leadership. And last year we had an amazing 19 nominations, which was the most yet. And we had the pleasure, as I mentioned earlier, of presenting Kate Powell at the Science and Industry Museum with the award. And her work really exemplifies what we mean by transformative volunteering. And you're going to hear more about the work that Kate's been doing later on, as she's our keynote speaker for today. Elsewhere this year, we have fortified existing partnerships and welcomed new alliances that will help us deliver our mission more effectively. And we were delighted to welcome Team Kinetic as sponsors of our conference and free events programme, whilst Better Impact continued their sponsorship of our newsletters, providing valuable capital and connections to enhance our work. Alongside this, our collaborations with the Make Your Mark campaign in Scotland and the volunteering team at DCMS has continued to deepen our impact and reaffirmed our commitment to advocating for the transformative power of volunteering. One of our key relationships over the past few years has been with AIM as a project partner on the groundbreaking Connected Communities project. This initiative, supported by DCMS, aimed to transform community cohesion and well-being through volunteering in some of England's most deprived areas. 2024 saw this project come to a close, but we're delighted that we'll be continuing our relationship with AIM and that its director, Lisa Allahead, will be our keynote speaker at this year's conference. At which point, again, I'm hoping somebody is going to be popping the link to the ticketing site into the chat right about now. So with Connected Communities ending, we were delighted that in December 2024, we were awarded the contract to deliver the Museum Development Midlands Volunteer Models Programme. A little bit of a mouthful. But this important initiative, running from December 24 to March 26, is designed to equip museums with volunteer action plans that align to their needs, ensuring sustainability and community engagement. And we're delighted to be working on that with a really highly engaged cohort of museums and volunteer managers. Despite the evolving social media landscape that we saw last year, which is probably putting it euphemistically, our digital presence has never been stronger. LinkedIn grew by 38%, our YouTube views jumped by the same amount, and we expanded our reach across new platforms like Blue Sky. And this has enabled us to share a huge variety of content, ranging from strategy to 101 volunteer management content. Alongside this, we posted around about 700 job adverts last year. So if you are looking to move jobs, please hit up HVG jobs on our socials and you'll maybe find what you are looking for. Complementing our social media content are our newsletters, Staying Connected and HVG Learns, which we publish twice a month, and they provide a rich variety of video and written content to inspire, inform and build professional practice right the way across our membership. And if you don't know what I'm talking about and you've not received those, do check your junk folders, because we do hear stories of those newsletters going straight into junk and people not knowing about them. So please do take a look in there if you're not getting them. So looking to 2025 and beyond, we have bold plans. We'll be evolving our structure to secure our long-term resilience and developing a new business model to power our growth and deliver our vision. We'll continue delivering our national conference and sector-leading events while shaping the future of volunteering through our work with museums and partners. None of this would, of course, be possible without the incredible work of our executive and advisory group, who provide hundreds, if not thousands actually, of hours to make all that I've talked about possible. So on behalf of myself and our membership, I just want to thank all of you for all that you do to make everything that happens at HVG possible. Thank you. So before we move on to the next item of the agenda, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and just pause and see if anybody has any questions at all. I'm not getting any hands, and I don't think there's anything in the chat, is there, Liv? No. In that case, we will move on to the formal part of today's business. So the first thing that we need is a resolution to receive and accept the minutes of the previous AGM. So I need somebody to formally put forward those minutes, and then somebody else from to second those. Rob's raised his hands to propose that. And again, if I could just have somebody else from the exec or advisory group or the membership to second. Thank you, Sarah. That's great. That's excellent. And then that's that. So we will then move on to the presentation of the annual report and accounts for acceptance. So that's over to you, Sarah, for that part of the agenda.
Matt, are we going to do the EGM?
We can do, if you want. I can do that. Yep.
Yeah,
so,
just to propose and accept the minutes of the EGM.
Yeah, we can do that. So hopefully you've all had the minutes from the EGM as well. So again, we just need somebody to propose those and second those. Thank you.
I can propose that. Or second.
Second them. Thank you, Liv. Brilliant. Excellent. So back over to you, Sarah.
I don't know whether actually it's worth just sharing the main page of the accounts. I'm going to talk briefly through the accounts. Matt, can you do that? Can you just share?
If you just bear with me a second, I'll just grab those.
Yeah. And I'm happy to answer any questions that anybody might have after I've just said my piece for a couple of minutes.
Just bear with me if you want to get started, Sarah. I will just grab.
Yeah. So once we've got the accounts up on the screen, you'll be able to see from the accounts that we're building quite healthy cash balances now, and in the main part, that's been due to the advisory work that we have done, and Matt's already mentioned for AIM. That accounted for £10,000 worth of our income last year, and the rest of our income came from sponsorship and from the conference. So our total income for the year was £14,242 in comparison to only to £3,648 the year before. So it shows that we're making a step change in the type of organisation we are. Our expenses continue to run at similar levels to last year, and indeed they're pretty much the same. So last year they were oh, I can't see that. If there's chat that's important, let me know, because I'm looking at numbers at the moment. So last year, excluding the work done on the strategy, the expenses were £1,900. This year, they were just over £1,500. IT costs at the moment are the highest expense, and I would expect our normal operating expenses to continue running at these types of levels. There will be a little bit of extra expenditure, I'm sure. So, for instance, we've had to take out insurance this year for the work that we're doing with the Midlands museums development in the Midlands. So there'll be some things that going forward. Cash balances continue to grow, so our cash as of today stands at just over 20,000. And that's because we've had income, the first tranche of money on the volunteers model, and we've had quite a lot of sponsorship income. I don't propose to say anything more. Did anybody have any questions on the accounts at all? No?
I'll just stop sharing those so I can see everybody.
Is there anything in the chat? Let me just check.
Nothing at
No.
all in the chat.
Okay, so can I therefore propose that we accept the annual report and the accounts? And we'll need somebody to propose and somebody to second that.
So Rob's proposed and I'll second, Sarah.
Okay. Okay, I also want to formally thank Hannah Colwell, who audited the accounts this year, and indeed she audited them last year as well. So she's acting as our independent examiner. And I'm proposing that we agree to appoint Hannah, or if Hannah's not able to do it, another suitably qualified individual. So Hannah is ACA, and I would propose to have somebody who's ACA, ACCA, or ACMA, so one of the accounting qualifications. So can we have somebody to agree that we can consider appointing Hannah if she's agreeable to do it again this year, if not somebody who's suitably qualified as our independent examiner.
I'm happy to propose. And Rob, once again, your hand must be getting tired the amount you're putting it up. Rob will second.
Okay. And I have to just make one comment that it's very important that we now do this, that it was, for instance, a requirement of our insurance coverage that we had an independent examiner. Yeah. Anyway, so that's the end of the formal business, and I'm going to pass things back to Matt, who's going to go on. Well, no, go on with the elections, which is Matt's bit.
Brilliant. Thank you. So I think Rhiannon has very kindly set up some polls for us. So just so everybody is aware, so we've got an election to the executive board, and then an election to the advisory group as well. This is the last election to the advisory group that we will have, because the structure of the organisation is changing as part of the new constitution that we're in the process of ratifying. So it's worth just mentioning that at this moment, as we won't be electing people to the advisory group in future, not in the same way. So I'm hoping, Rhiannon, that you're going to work your magic and start the polls as we ask people to vote on the election of Katerina Lakueva-Biscar as our executive membership secretary. So hopefully everybody can see the poll.
Matt, I don't know if Rhiannon actually did votes for the accounts and the independent examiner, but it's probably worth, if she's done them, doing those as well.
Okay, we'll go back and do those in a moment.
Yeah.
I think everybody everybody has voted. So that stops. So that's. Oh, we have had one more vote in. It's a positive, Katerina. 25 people are still voting. We'll give you a moment or two more if you're still voting. Okay. Looks like 25 out of 32 have voted. That is great. The other 7 that haven't voted are probably all signed into the same Heritage Volunteering group account that I'm signed into, which is why they can't vote. So that's great. Congratulations, Katerina. You are now elected to the executive. And thank you, Rhiannon, for that. So next we are going to elect Michelle Armstrong to the advisory group. So I think we're going to relaunch the poll and redo that. We'll just give Rhiannon a moment to do that. There we go. There's the next poll. Lovely. So, that's great. So more people voting this time. Excellent. People switching out of their HVG accounts. Brilliant. I think that is everybody. And again, that is all 27 people have voted on that. So thank you everybody for voting. Thank you both to Katerina and Michelle to formally getting involved with HVG. We couldn't do it without the kind support of people like yourselves giving up the free time, so thank you ever so much. We will quickly go back. We don't have a poll for the annual reports and accounts, so we will just get if you could raise your virtual hands. Liv, you should be able to see those in the participation list, just for voting on the annual report and accounts. If everybody could just raise their hands if they're happy with those. Getting all these little pings and pongs. It sounds like a pong on the old Atari from back in the day. Pinging and ponging. I think we're nearly there. Brilliant. Thank you. If you can let us know, there's a few people have not voted or have left their hands down. We'll give you a moment. People are still voting. That's great. So have you got all that information, Liv?
Yeah, just trying to note the hands. I think we might have had a poll for this one, but if it's not there, do not worry.
Liv, you can just count the numbers, so don't need to take a count of just how many people.
I know I'm quite slow at counting.
Well, you can always take the 35 participants and anybody who didn't actually. Oh, Rhiannon's done it. 21.
Oh, thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you. Brilliant. Thank you, everybody. So, with all of that said and done, that I think brings to the end of the formal business. And I'll just check with Sarah, make sure we've not missed anything important off.
No, I think that's it.
That's it. Excellent. So now we get to the fun part of today, and that is hearing from Kate Powell, who is our volunteer manager of the year. Kate is from Science and Industry Museum, which is part of Science Museum Group. So you know, I'm absolutely delighted that Kate is joining us as a friend and colleague, and somebody who's doing some absolutely amazing work in Manchester. It's amazing, brilliant that Kate's able to join us. So I am going to hand over to Kate. I don't know whether you've got a slide deck you want to share, Kate, but you should have the power to do that if you do.
Hi, can everyone hear me first of all?
We can.
Amazing. So I just need to say I've realised, unfortunately, the very small meeting room I'm in, the strip lighting's automated. So if I don't move, the room's going to go black. It'll just go pitch black. The lighting will go off. So if I stop and I have to stand up and sit back down and I'm in darkness, I will be back. It's not a dramatic part of my presentation. sorry, it's just all the fun and games working in a really historic site. So I am going to try and share a PowerPoint, so bear with me because I also don't use Zoom lots. So I've got to send a request. Have I got the power?
I'm hoping you have. Hold on. Who can share? All participants. Here we go, Kate.
Thank you.
It's people will be wondering. We've got you speaking from the basement at Sim. The fuse board behind you.
Yes, I am coming from the first ever railway warehouse building in the world. So
That is quite something. You should be able to share now,
bear
okay?
with me. Okay, so is this working?
It's just
Can you
loading.
see this? So
There you
I'm
go.
gonna go. Oh, hang on, bear with me. My computer's not moving around at all now, bear with me.
Don't worry. I was doing something for Tamsin recently, and sharing in Teams is very different to sharing in Zoom. So
It
don't
really
worry. I'm
is.
sure most people on this call have been in a similar boat. There we go. Perfect.
Are we ready? Yes.
Brilliant.
Amazing, wonderful. I'm just going to check I can see my notes. So I need to move this screen somewhere. Oh. Did I stop sharing?
No, we can still see it. Where it all started?
I can't see it. Sorry about this, everyone. You are sharing a screen. Let me see it. Oh no. Right. Is it gonna? I've totally lost it. I literally can't see the screen that I'm sharing.
Are you on one screen or two screens, Kate?
Just one, because I can't get anywhere with two screens. Let me stop sharing and restart, and then I will try again.
Just remember to keep moving, otherwise you'll be plunged into darkness as well.
Just don't. Right. Okay. Let's try again. From the beginning. Back. There we go. Right. Show presenter. Okay, so what I was actually trying to do is, if anybody can advise me, the bar where I can see everybody's everybody's faces, I need to move it.
Ooh,
Oh, hi thumbnail. I've done it with a
excellent.
Amazing, thank you. So I am reading from notes, everybody, just to keep me on track, because I could talk a lot about volunteering and we may be here quite a while if I don't stick to the notes. So please do throw any questions you've got at me at the end. So I actually started here at SIM back in 2018 as volunteer coordinator, which means I've been at the museum for 7 years now. The time has absolutely flown by and I've had such a great journey, and I've got so many great memories from my time here at the museum, and of course working within the volunteer programme. So I thought this afternoon I'd tell you a little bit about myself and my background, and then take you through some of my highlights from the last 7 years. So I actually started out as a volunteer myself many, many years ago at the Manchester Museum, where I gained lots of experience in a variety of different roles. And this really helped me to make some decisions around my career at an early stage. I studied archaeology at undergrad and postgrad levels, where I specialised in burials and bones. And I couldn't decide if I wanted a career in the field or in museums. But after volunteering in some great roles and in some very wet trenches in the field, I decided to stay indoors and make museums my home. I did lots of other community-based volunteering, and I secured my first paid role at Museum Sheffield, kicking off my career in the learning and community outreach team. And since then, I've worked in a few different museums and also in some different community events management-based roles until I landed here at SIM. Now, when I joined the programme, the volunteer management team, it was originally as coordinator, and back in 2018, there was a real ambition to bring structure to the team, with a vision to grow the volunteer programme in terms of volunteer numbers, variety of roles, and time spent on site. The museum had just invested in the volunteer management team, moving away from fixed term funded positions to bring in the volunteer management roles under the core operations department, demonstrating a long-term dedication to the development of the volunteer programme. And this has had some really positive impacts as it's brought consistency to the management team, and also really importantly for the museum volunteers. It also meant that I could really start to work with the senior leadership team to ensure volunteering and its positive impact was being talked about on every museum platform and within every department, to really showcase the incredible ways volunteers support our museum, and also importantly, how they can help us to achieve key strategic ambitions. Between 2018 and 2019, we saw the programme really start to flourish, with new core roles being planned and developed to support museum operations and visitor engagement priorities. However, I knew we could do much more, lots more potential. And when I suddenly found myself being promoted to volunteer manager, I really started to think about how we could support the museum's ambitions whilst creating a programme that was a true representation of our communities and would also have a real positive social impact across the city. I wanted to create opportunities that would inspire people and, importantly, bring people into our museums who do not usually engage with us, using volunteering as a tool for engagement and building relationships within our communities, whilst helping us to address issues across Manchester, such as high levels of unemployment, young people out of work, and the STEM's skill gap that we see. So one of my overarching ambitions when I first started here at SIM was to really embed the volunteer programme in the museum and to integrate volunteers into the staff teams, so we all functioned as one museum family. This was not a quick win. This was not a quick piece of work. This happened in the background over several years until we reached the place we are today, where we have a real positive volunteer culture on site. To achieve this ambition, I basically talked about how amazing volunteers are to anyone who would listen. I attended all staff briefings, individual departmental meetings, breakfast meetings, you name it, I was there, and I talked non-stop about the benefits of volunteering. But really encouraging departments to focus roles around their priorities and deliverables in their developmental work plans. Being able to demonstrate the positive impact that we had already seen so far and success from the programme was also crucial in helping colleagues to see on a practical level how volunteering could support them. We have now embedded this practice and approach in all of our work plans. We have regular slots at all museum team and departmental meetings to talk about updates from our volunteer programmes. We also recently made our volunteering newsletter a museum publication, so it now goes out across all SIM staff. And this is just another mechanism of us ensuring volunteering remains in the spotlight and it elevates our work. Working with the members of SLT, so our senior leadership team, I've also been able to ensure volunteers are welcomed at all museum staff-based social and learning events. And we now also incorporate lots of volunteers into staff training sessions as well, so sharing development opportunities. At the moment, we are supporting the head of curatorial, planning a collection staff engagement day this month, where our object handling volunteers will be showcasing our collections to staff in a couple of morning sessions before work starts and before the museum opens. This is just another example of a collaborative opportunity we're about to pilot here at SIM. So one of the most successful roles we have at SIM that I developed is the exhibition engagement role. This was created to help support visitors on gallery to connect with themed stories and objects in our special exhibitions gallery. It felt that having a person in a space would help to enrich the visitor experience and encourage them to explore collections and help them to relate to STEM in a way that's meaningful for them. We now have supported over 7 special exhibitions over the last 7 years with a team of, on average, 25 to 30 volunteers. Volunteers are trained to have in-depth knowledge of exhibition content by our curatorial team, and then they have the tools that they need to communicate to a diverse audience. Working with our Science and Museum Group Academy team, we are also now in a place where we have developed a training package that is standardised to give all volunteers training in visitor-facing roles, giving them communication tools they need to feel confident in their role. This role also enables the volunteers to access wraparound training and experiences, which will help to improve their communication skills, work as part of a team, learn about audience engagement in museums, improve their presentation skills and confidence in public-facing roles. We are now working on a new iteration of this role to support visitors in our Power Hall when it reopens this autumn. This role will be slightly different. It will still encompass all aspects of visitor engagement, such as using object handling as a learning tool, with an ambition, of course, to grow science capital for our visitors. However, the volunteers will also be a point of information for visitors regarding the important role our technicians have in keeping our engines and working machinery running. We will hopefully be able to use the role to inspire visitors into thinking about technical careers or how they can connect with STEM skills while supporting the technicians operationally at the same time. Thinking about supporting our changing site. So soon after I joined the museum, it became really clear when lots of scaffolding started appearing everywhere that there was lots of exciting plans to carry out much needed conservation and development work across our historical site. This offered various opportunities for volunteers to get involved in creative ways in helping us to maintain a good quality of visitor experience whilst balancing site disruption. It was also an important priority for the museum to help visitors to engage with our museum's rich history in connection with the birth of the railway, plus our future plans for the buildings we were closing and new exhibitions to come. So I worked closely with our senior leadership team to plan how volunteer roles could support this priority work, and it was a major ambition in our last 3-year local development plan. So as part of this project work, I created 2 new roles. One is our Planting Stories Garden volunteer role. This team helps us to care for our planted garden areas around the museum site. The planted scheme is actually a different take on interpretation. It's a new technique we use to tell the story, the history of Liverpool Road Station through bespoke planting. So our garden team care for the planters daily. Sorry, I may need to move. Sorry about that. So our garden team care for our planters daily, and they also explain to visitors how all of our different plants actually represent goods that would have come into the museum site back when it was a working railway depot in the 1800s. This was a really great, new, unique role to the museum, offering visitors a chance to help us engage volunteers a chance to help visitors engage with our narratives, but also to learn some great practical skills and work and volunteer alongside an award-winning landscape architect. The second role I created as part of the master plan engagement work was the Highlights volunteer role. Our Highlights volunteers are a team who deliver spotlight talks on gallery for visitors. The themes of the talks cover different objects and stories from our collections, but the Star Talk covers the history of the museum site, again, the history of Liverpool Road Station, and really importantly, focuses on all of the building and conservation works taking place. So this talk helps our visitors to understand why it's so important we carry out the building works here to care for our historic site. And it also helps them to learn more about our plans for the future. The volunteers have gone through extensive training with our learning team to gain the skills that they need to be able to present confidently on gallery, and they actually researched and wrote the scripts themselves, which was fantastic, and they received lots of training and support from our curatorial team. So it's been a great role to help volunteers upskill in a variety of ways, especially for those interested in on-gallery learning experiences, research techniques and science communication. Another one of the highlights for me from my time at SIM has been having the opportunity to develop a series of great partnerships and relationships across the city, working with organisations with shared ambitions to our own. By working strategically with partners who share the same priorities as both SMG and SIM, we've been able to welcome volunteers into our museum who wouldn't usually visit us or even volunteer with us. Working with partners, we've been able to reach new communities, networks, carry out targeted recruitment and spend time at a variety of events in the community, showcasing our brilliant volunteer programme at SIM and engaging people with our opportunities. We've also been able to create a number of placement opportunities within our current volunteer offer, working with both educational partners and community-based initiatives, charities and schemes across the city. Partnership work is also a great opportunity for us to influence conversations and share best practice around volunteering and placement work. Over the last 7 years, we've worked with many brilliant organisations such as Pure Innovations, where we actually hosted a placement for an individual who had a variety of access requirements and support needs. But by working collaboratively with Pure Innovations and also the Manchester Blind Centre, we were able to adapt our onboarding, role training and day-to-day delivery of our objects handling role to make sure it was as accessible as possible for this individual. This work has left us with so much knowledge and legacy materials and really, really important tools to take forward. Other great organisations we've worked with, just to name a few, are the Friendship Circle, We Mind the Gap, Kickstart and Breakthrough UK. These are organisations which often work supporting young people in upskilling and also support individuals who for many reasons need an extra helping hand in finding their own potential. we were recognised back in, I think it was 2023, by the Manchester College for supporting young people in technical education. They are actually one of our current partners, and we were recognised with a wonderful Industry Excellence Award, and we are still doing some brilliant work with them, and more to come about that in a moment. So, building on the success of working collaboratively with partners over the years, I recently decided to take a whole new approach to creating volunteer roles and placements when I was presented with the opportunity to develop roles to support the Power Hall project. Power Hall is one of our beloved buildings here at the museum and houses a unique collection of historic engines. The buildings and gallery itself have been through a multi-million-pound restoration project over the last 5 years, and it's due to open in autumn. We knew from an early stage in the Power Hall project we would need to grow our current historic machinery maintenance volunteer team considerably, and the role would need refreshing. However, we also realised we would need a team of operators and administrative support for the technical services team to get the engines ready for reopening and to also maintain and operate them on a daily basis. We also identified we would need a role which could offer on-gallery visitor engagement support, helping visitors to learn more about the collection, but also importantly, how we keep them moving and how many different skills are used to do this and can be transferred to a variety of careers. So here comes the innovation part. Rather than us creating these roles based on the museum's operational and business needs, I decided to work along current partners and industry professionals to create a suite of new volunteer roles and also a dedicated T-level placement programme to support young people studying for careers in engineering. This piece of work was produced alongside the Manchester College and our amazing technical services team, working with professionals from technical industries and the Greater Manchester Combined Authority. We have not only created opportunities which will now support the museum, help people to gain a whole new range of skills and experiences, but we will see intergenerational learning happening on gallery, and we are now directly influencing Manchester's skill and learning agenda. These roles are due to start in the next couple of weeks. It has been a labour of love for me over the last 18 months, this project, so I can't wait to see the results over the next few years. And finally, I've got a couple of slides which are a bit of a snapshot around data that we've collated from the programme over the last couple of years. So on your screen now, you can see some data which was captured in 2024, and it is benchmarked alongside results from the Time Well Spent survey. You can see the results taken from for SIM are clearly showing we're on target, delivering against our ambitions to support our communities in terms of upskilling, using their experiences with us to gain employment, and really importantly, to live well. These couple of graphs come from the recent satisfaction survey results this year. And we were absolutely delighted to see for the first time ever that 100% of our volunteers who were surveyed would recommend us as a good place to volunteer. And 100% of them, really importantly, said they felt their contribution here at the museum is valued, which we were absolutely thrilled by, as you can imagine. And a little bit more around data collected this year. So at the minute, around 40% of volunteers at SIM come from high relative areas of deprivation across the city. We have done a lot of strategic work around recruitment and connecting with communities to support this priority over the last 7 years. So I was really quite pleased to see that figure. The percentage at the moment of non-white volunteers currently sits at 25%, and the percentage of females here at SIM is 37%. We have done quite a lot of work again over the last few years to really try and encourage females in STEM, so to encourage females in connecting and thinking about careers in science, technology, engineering and maths. So that figure looks good, but I'd say there's still a little bit more work to do. And finally, I wanted to share some volunteer quotes that we've collated recently from volunteers who sit in a variety of different roles across the museum. And you can see that we've got some really, really lovely feedback. Volunteers here are really motivated by wanting to come and share their skills and experiences with others. Lots of them want to make new connections and new friends and meet new people and learn more about different cultures and different people. And it looks like we are hitting some of their personal priority areas. So yeah, we were super pleased to read some of this feedback. And that's it from me. So thank you so much for having me. I hope all of those slides worked. I'm not sure what's happened to my screen now, but I actually can't see anybody, so I hope you're all still there. Thank you very much.
We are. Thank you, Kate. That was amazing, and you are doing some absolutely amazing work. So yeah, thank you for all that you do for Science Museum Group as well. I don't know whether we do have a few minutes left, and we are going to just redo some voting just to make sure we capture all the numbers properly. But has anybody got any questions or anything that they would like to ask Kate while we've got her with us before the lights go out? Lots of lovely feedback there for you, Kate, in the chat.
You've appeared again now. Everyone's appeared again now.
We didn't all disappear.
You know, I've realised halfway through, I thought, oh my gosh, is everybody still there?
We are. Well, thank you ever so much, Kate. I know you're mega busy as well, so thank you for giving up your time this afternoon. So that almost brings us to the end. As I say, we are going to just redo the voting. Our maths isn't perhaps as great as we would like, so we are going to do it digitally to make it easier for you guys, and just as importantly, make it easier for us to tally up the votes. So the first thing we are going to do is to put forward to receive and accept the minutes of the previous AGM. So Rhiannon is going to open that poll for us. Look at that, magic, as if by magic. That's great. Okay, thank you, everyone. We're still getting a couple of votes in. Just give you another moment or two on that. Brilliant. I think that is all of the votes in, so thank you ever so much for that. They are all accepted, and 26 out of the 27 votes with 1 abstention. We're going to do the same for the minutes of the EGM, so we'll receive and accept those. So again, Rhiannon is going to magically open the poll for you. There you go. Fantastic. Amazing. Thank you, everybody. And everybody has voted there. So that's 25 yes and 2 abstentions. So thank you all for that. Next is to receive and adopt the annual report and account. So again, as if by magic, there we go. I feel like Paul Daniels. Not something that I would ever thought I would say. There we go. Lots of votes again. Thank you, everybody. Just get a few more in. Again, that's passed, so that's 28 with 1 abstention. And then finally, agree that the exec should appoint Hannah Calwell or any other essentially suitable accountant for the audit for next year. Brilliant. Just filtering in. That's fantastic. That is 28 votes. So thank you, everybody, for voting. There was just one question in the chat about our hashtags as well. So moving on from all of those votes, I'm going to answer that question. I'm going to do that by sharing my screen. So let me do that. Hopefully you can all see our LinkedIn page there. So the hashtags that we use are used right the way across our social media channels. So we are on daily, we're on LinkedIn, X and Blue Sky as well. And we've got a variety of different hashtags. If you go into here and you search for any of our posts, if you click, you find HVG jobs. So if you are looking for jobs, you can simply click on that, and that will bring up a list of our job posts eventually, if you don't have super slow internet like I happen to do. You can then sort them by the past week, and you'll get the current jobs that we're posting. Typically we put out a couple of jobs, so we tend to put those out Saturdays and Sundays, and we also feature a job section in the newsletter as well. So lots of content goes out across our socials and in the newsletters as well. As I mentioned, we do have a variety of other hashtags that we use. I won't bore you by going through them all, but if you like to think deeply about questions around volunteering, then we've got hashtag Thoughtful Thursday. We've also got 101 Wednesday, which is kind of your 101 volunteer management content, and then HVG strategy is probably the other big one that we use, which is all kind of content around strategy and leadership. So you can find that across our social media channels as well. And as I mentioned, I'll do one final plug. If you weren't aware, hopefully you all are aware, we have got the conference coming up in the not too distant future. It's taking place online on the 25th and 26th of November. This year you'll have 12 workshops to choose from across 2 days. We've got Lisa Ollerhead joining us as our keynote speaker. We've also got a host of other really interesting, a couple of other really interesting plenary sessions as well, including Time for Impact Live, which is a great podcast with Chris Wade, who some of you might be familiar with as a speaker at our previous event. So I will pop the link for that in the chat. I will stop sharing, and I will close just by saying a massive thank you. A thank you to all of you for coming along today, for being engaged members. You know, we are here to support you. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be doing what we do. And again, just a massive thank you to our executive and advisory group. They are amazing people. They're fantastic friends and colleagues, and without them, we simply couldn't do what we do. So thank you for your time this afternoon. I hope you all have a lovely afternoon. It's not too cloudy where you are, and hopefully we'll see you at our next event next month. But I think we do have an inclusion forum, don't we, this afternoon? We do indeed. So that is taking place in around about 3 minutes, I believe.